World War! Hulk is back! I took a little bit of a break, but don't worry, we are back with more Insane Hulk. Today, he's gonna be fighting against the Fantastic Four and Doctor Strange. Why? Well, because, off panel he defeated the Avengers, so there was, nothing else to tell you about that portion of the story. We're taking a break from Frontlines this week because it was really weird and tied in funny. But we will be back with more Frontlines when we get to the Century fight next week. Let's get on with that show. When we last left off, the all-out fight had begun, and it was time for everyone to stop trying to talk the Hulk down, because he just threw his cousin She-Hulk into the ground face first. The Hulk and his Warbound leap into battle while the Fantastic Four try to build a weapon to stop him. The Hulk is still after Reed Richards and Doctor Strange as Black Panther is trying to help, and Reed tells him to get out of here. He has nothing to do with the Hulk's exile, and he needs to go, but T'Challa turns to him. Unfortunately, you have made it our fight. You have made it the world's fight, Reed. And now that the Hulk has smashed the Avengers, you'll need every one of us if we're going to have any hope of stopping him. Reed tries to stop him, but it's Sue who tells Reed to stop. Johnny looks over at the city to see the big green dot getting closer and leaping his way to them, because the Hulk is done with the Avengers and he's done playing. As he tries to land in front of them, Storm hits him with a great wind gust, throwing him into a building, and the rest of the Warbound all jump in, telling them to just give up Reed Richards and they'll leave. As they throw the Warbound off course, Johnny gets up over the Hulk to hit him with a full blast of a supernova. The building that he is on is blown to pieces and he feels the fiery power of the Human Torch. The blast is so mighty that it throws the Warbound back further, and the heroes all feel its heat. But once it's done, in the very center stands the angriest man on the planet, the Hulk. Looking down at the street, Ben Grimm, the Thing, sees the Hulk standing there and decides that it's time to get involved. As he leaps off of the building, landing right in front of him, he runs in. It's clobbering time, and he tries to take a right hook to the Hulk's jaw, with a little blood coming out of the Hulk's nose. He looks back at him. All right then. And they leap in, locking arms. The Thing gets a shot into his gut and then to the Hulk's face, but the Hulk returns with both fists on the sides of the Thing's head. Everyone looks in horror as the Hulk raises both of his fists to finish this, and then there's a bright light glowing in front of him. He turns to that light, and it tells him, "Hello, Hulk." He lightens up for a second as he looks up to see Century, Golden Man. One of the Warbound jumps down asking what's going on, and the Thing explains. Century and the Hulk are real friends. The Century always had the ability to calm down the Hulk. This is over. And as the Hulk reaches up, Korg tells the Thing, it is. The Hulk smashes Reed's little device and then takes a shot at Reed's head. Except the Invisible Woman stops the hit and pleads with Bruce to stop this now. So the Hulk asks her, if I were to set a bomb that killed your husband and children, your whole world, would you ever stop? And with that, he cracks down on her mental projection bubble so hard that he drops her, and then he grabs Reed. Reed tries to wrap around the Hulk, tries to stop him, keep him from moving, to do anything, but the Hulk smashes him so hard that he falls unconscious. The Hulk and the Warbound grab Reed and they begin to walk off. And that's when she calls out to the Sentry, telling him, we need you. You need to leave your home. We are failing. The Hulk walks through the city, dragging Reed and the others that he has just beat down until Rick Jones runs out in front of him. Hulk, stop! The Warbound try to stop Rick, but he ignores them, looking at his friend. Cap's dead. For those wondering, this happened right after Civil War, in the death of Captain America, and the Hulk doesn't respond to that news. A lot has happened while you were gone, Hulk. Tony and Reed, they screwed up. I'm sure these guys deserve it. Not like this Hulk. The Hulk reaches out, touching Rick's shoulder, and that's when he acts. The Doctor has arrived. He dives into the Hulk's mind, digging around, looking for the emotional side of him. And a bright light beams out of the Hulk's skull as he reaches up, grabbing his head, shouting, get out of my head! He leaps into the sky, crashing into the bay nearby when he looks up. For everything he sees makes him angrier. Seeing everyone failing, though, there's one man ready to fight the Hulk. And his name is Thunderbolt Ross. Ross thinks back, will they ever learn? This always happens. The Hulk saves the world, then they pardon him. A few months pass, and he's at it again, fighting against everything around him. He's a monster, and one that needs to be put down. All of those years, everyone telling me he was possessed, or Doc Samson separated Banner and the Hulk, or he just wants to be left alone. Well, it got us nowhere, and we're now standing here with him conquering our world, and no way to stop him. My daughter is dead. Ross loads up into his helicopter, and he takes off, going to fight the Hulk. That's when he opens up with 10 tons of adamantium needles spraying into the Hulk's back. The soldiers all run up and they continue to spray the Hulk over and over, peppering his entire body with damaging needles. He screams out in pain. And that's the moment that Doctor Strange strikes again. He tells Iron Fist that he needed the Hulk to allow him to enter, but this will work fine. Thunderbolt Ross has forced open the door. Inside the Hulk's mind, he hears the voice of Strange, but he ignores it and he leaps into the air screaming at Ross. He lands in front of the helicopter, grabbing onto anything that he can. The voice of Strange once again tells him, "Come along, Bruce." And the Hulk stops what he's doing as he plummets it back to the earth with the helicopter in his hands. With a loud explosion, the Hulk snaps to and realizes he's not in the city anymore. He's picturing a new location in his mind, even though he is in fact standing in New York. He looks up to see an astral projection of Doctor Strange. "Where have you taken me?" This is not the question, Hulk. The question is, where have you taken me? Hulk reaches up to grab the astral projection, but he gets nothing but air. This is the space within your own mind, Hulk. What is it that you want to show me, Bruce? The Hulk screams out, "Don't call me that!" Outside of his mind, Ross sees the Hulk yelling at nothing and flailing around. He orders his men to open up in the big green giant. He gets sprayed with more needles over and over as he manages to grab the astral projection finally. Except Strange grows in size, telling the Hulk, "Your anger means nothing to me. I am the Sorcerer Supreme and I could snuff the feeble flame of your mortal life with the merest twitch of my finger." He then shrinks back down. "But I am also your friend. Let me help you, Bruce. Show me your true face." At that moment, the Hulk thinks back to his life in Sakaar, thinks back to his wife. He softens up, and he begins to shrink down to Bruce Banner, telling Strange, "That's what she said. She wanted to see my true face. Her name was Kyra, and I hear her voice all the time." He looks back and he remembers all of the good times he had with her, the life that he was building. He remembers her telling him the words that he always wanted to hear. "This is where you belong, with your people, with your queen, your child." And then he remembers what took her life, the explosion that rocked the planet. Strange stands over him. "Bruce, I agreed with Tony and Reed in Black Bolt that you were too dangerous for this planet. I let them trick you into the shuttle and then shoot you into space. But you have to know, we had nothing to do with the explosion or her death." Bruce looks down. "Go away. How long have we known each other, Bruce? How many battles have we fought side by side? Look at me and tell me if I'm lying." Bruce rubs the bridge of his nose with his fingers. "Stephen." And Strange makes himself corporeal, putting his hands on Bruce's back. Bruce reaches out, taking Stephen's hand, and Stephen tells him, "I have you." And a look comes over Bruce's eyes. "Yeah, and I've got you." And that's when Strange sees a shadow growing larger and larger, covering him, and he realizes what just happened. And the Hulk crushes Strange's hands, breaking them. Strange falls out of the mental scape onto the floor of his own building, and the Hulk rushes forward, fighting against Ross, still shooting needles at him. He leaps up, landing on a tank, tearing off the cannon on the front side, and then he jumps to another nearby one, stomping its cannon into the ground, throwing it into another tank. He throws the pieces of that tank into the sky, taking out the helicopter. As the pilots all parachute out, he claps his hands, putting down the rest of the ground troops, and then he sees Ross standing there on the side of another helicopter. The Hulk leaps up to him, grabbing him, and they fall out of the helicopter as Ross grabs his pistol, shooting the Hulk in the eye. And the Hulk gets madder as they fall to the ground with a whack-oom. After the Hulk and his troops set up Madison Square Garden for their big plan, they walk to Greenwich Village to the home of Doctor Strange. They take down all of the enchantments and outrun Iron Fist and Strange's helpers, except they're all dropped without even any effort. And then the Warbound walk into the house. Strange calls out to Wong, telling him to bring him the box. It's their only hope. They must free Zom. Back in Madison Square Garden, where the Hulk is setting up his throne in the arena for the gladiator fights, Doctor Strange appears before him with his hands and head on fire. He has let the demon Zom in, and he informs the Hulk, "Strange, smash!" He slams his fist into the ground, nearly taking out Jerome the priest. So Jerome grabs a blade and swings it to block Doctor Strange as Hulk watches, and then Strange uses his power to smash the weapon and drop Jerome. The Hulk leaps in, but Strange plucks him out of the sky and punches him through his stomach, uppercutting him. "I've just begun." The people of Earth try to push past the cops protecting them, telling them that they want to see what's happening. They want to see the fights. And as the Hulk lands in front of them, Strange comes up from behind, smashing him in the back. He then uses his spells to bombard the Hulk with everything, followed up by kicking him into a building nearby that crumbles it and forces it to fall on the civilians. Strange realizes what he just did, that he cost innocents their lives. He rushes over to lift the building and he sees the damage, only to see the Hulk holding the civilians safely. Strange looks at him. So much anger, hard to control. So the Hulk looks at him. "Tell you what, let me give you a lesson." And he slams Strange into another building. Magic goes off all over as the Hulk pummels Strange over and over until finally he removes Strange from the game board. And that's when the Hulk walks back to Madison Square Garden to end this, because it's all about to conclude. And there you have it, another chapter of our World War Hulk storyline. Now don't forget to subscribe to this channel to see how this is going to end if you are unaware of it, or you can subscribe to get the Ghost Rider storyline, which will be starting up after this one ends. Follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian and click right here for the rest of the Hulk playlist. You can also click over here for something recommended by YouTube. And down below is a subscription button. I appreciate each and every one of you who watched this video. Thank you all so much. This channel only exists because you actually watch the videos. And with that, I'm out.